Welcome to episode 11 of the Jungle Podcast. I'm your host, John. You know the other host, Jeff. There's a unfamiliar face here you might not be as familiar with, our resident college football expert. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Thank you, John. It's an honor to be here. Long-time listener, first time guest speaker.
First time guest. You know what though? This is a shame, John, and this is bad on us. Dave should be wearing a Jungle Pod T-shirt because he was the winner of the T-shirt contest. He made it to the point in time where he shot us the free T-shirt text on the night of the draft.
That's right. On episode 3, it was one of our longer ones, the night of the draft. Just if we had anyone listening at like the 58-minute mark of that like hour and a half long episode, offered a free T-shirt, and Dave's the recipient of that free T-shirt. Dave, it's in the mail. I literally haven't done anything to get the wheels turned on it, but you will get a T-shirt. Mark my words.
I'm from the Show Me State. I'll believe it when I see it.
That's right.
We'll get you one. I promise.
If this is your first time listening, you can find us on Twitter at The Jungle Podcast. You can find us on any podcast platform as The Jungle Podcast, and you can find us on YouTube as The Jungle Podcast. I guess going into some news and notes here just for the past couple days. I know I've been talking a lot about different sports leagues getting back into the swing of things, and one that I saw that came out I think yesterday or the day before was Ohio State is having their football team come back June 8th. I know Gene Smith, the coach or the AD actually said that I think they're going to actually allow fans, which I was surprised with. Straight money play there, in my opinion, somewhere between like 20 and 50,000. You guys happen to see that?
I saw that, but he said that the initial plans would be for like 20 to 30% capacity of the stadium. It's funny because like 20 to 30% of that stadium is 20 to 30,000 people. That's how big that stadium is. So I mean, it's still be a pretty awesome fan experience. It'll be interesting to see how they separate them. And then he said if restrictions do loosen up, they'd be able to maybe do 40% capacity. So you're still talking about a ton of fans. I hope so. I mean, watching college football, we talked about this last episode. Watching college football with no fans is going to be a big adjustment. But obviously, we're happy to watch whatever.
What about the bathrooms? Like, what do you do when someone, like a bunch of people
concession stand? I don't know.
Like, you're going to only allow only 5 in at a time. Like,
I don't know.
How can you do that in good faith that you're social distancing? You know?
Yeah.
Money grab.
I mean, some states have like max 10 people. What? So Ohio thinks they can do max 20,000 in the stadium. I mean,
we do it different here. We do it different here in Ohio, Dave.
Yeah,
football, man. Love football and money. That's the two driving factors.
I mean, I'm all for it. I'd love to see it, but yeah, it doesn't seem like that's going to fly come September, August.
Yeah, well,
I
players are going back, so
see,
that's a good sign.
I don't think we see fans the entire sports season through the rest of 2020. Hopefully, I'm wrong. But just by what we're seeing, I mean, I saw like the NBA is they're letting people back, hopefully getting back in July. But like Stephen A. and Matt Kellerman had a big argument about it today, where it's like, well, if we resume the NBA season, why have the Warriors come back? They're 14 and 50 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So imagine if the Lakers go and play the Warriors and LeBron contracts the virus from a Warriors player. From a meaningless game, so they got to figure this all out. If they bring the season back, or do they bring back the bottom, or is it just a play-in to see what seeds we're at?
I like what hockey's been talking about is basically extending it from instead of the 8 teams per conference, doing the 12 playoff teams.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So it still gets those teams that were fighting for a playoff shot, but those teams that are sacking it in, why play?
It's not fair it's not fair to the ones that are on the cusp. Like the season wasn't over. You don't know what the playoff teams are.
But I mean, like that's what Dave was saying though. If you get the guys that would be like the 10 or would have been left out. So maybe in the NBA you bring in the top 10 teams.
The Pelicans.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the 11th team? What about the 11th team?
I mean, come on.
I'm just saying.
For each,
team. I'm just saying, like, that's the conversation that's going to have to happen.
I mean,
I agree with you.
You can't just go, okay, the season's over now. Like,
right. No, I agree with you. But there's definitely a line where it's like, why are we bringing are we bringing this team in? But then you have to think about seeding. Okay, so does the number 1 seed play the 12 seed, and all of a sudden the 12 seed beats the number 1 seed in some miracle like that? It's
it's a new era. I mean, it's like the March Madness bracket. There's always a team on the bubble. If you expand to 68 teams, there's
right at the end of the season when all the games have been played.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And like, what are you not gonna? So, what about pay? Do the guys get paid their full salaries even though they're not playing the games and risking their health? What do you do? Like, you have to. I don't know. You can't just say, "Hey, these 8 are going." In my opinion.
No, I agree with you.
I just opened up more questions. I just shot a few off.
I think I think you need to. There needs to be a line of how many teams we do allow to come back and whatever. I would watch everyone coming back, but
right.
They got to do something. I'm moving to another thing. Did you see that Man in the Arena, Tom Brady, a 9-part series is coming out next year on the quarterback?
I did. And I was like, how many of these? Like, is everyone getting one now? And MJ was first? I think so. Like, it must be like a new thing ESPN's doing to expand their documentary portfolio.
What I thought was funny is, though, so, like, a bunch of people have been talking about how some people are comparing Tom Brady to Michael, and I get some of those comparisons, but I also MJ just seems like so much more of a killer to me than Brady does. Not that Brady isn't. Brady is. I think he's the best quarterback ever, ultimate competitor. You know what I mean? But I just can't see Tom Brady hauling off and punching someone in the face like Michael Jordan did to Steve Kerr.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Tom Brady has a supermodel wife that makes more money than him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of aspects to Tom Brady that, maybe aren't as exciting as Michael Jordan, but he's doing a lot off the field also.
Yeah, he is. He is. And I just saw that he started practice with his players down in Tampa.
My boy Blaine Grabbert.
I saw Gronk was he had some comments on that. Nothing too serious.
Gronk did?
Yeah.
Well, hey, Dave, did you have any other news and notes?
So outside of the sports realm, maybe one of you guys' favorites, Tesla, Elon Musk. The big news, him in California getting into it. So they're looking for kind of like an HQ2, kind of like Amazon. They're looking to move out of California. He's had enough out west in California. So he's looking at Austin, Texas, and OKC, Oklahoma City, are the 2 front runners for Tesla factory.
OKC, really?
Yeah.
So Oklahoma's like popular, I'm assuming just for similar tax reasons, because I haven't seen that.
I mean, he just wants out of I'm not sure the exact reasoning on OKC, but the news actually of note, shout out to my friends at The Hustle, it's a daily newsletter I get, talked about how Tulsa, Oklahoma is throwing their name into the hat and have painted their statue. I guess they have this big golden statue in Tulsa, and they've painted it to look like Elon Musk.
That's just desperation in action right there.
Exactly. So you know how like all the cities were pulling out all the stops for Amazon and HQ2? Tulsa is pulling out the Tulsa Loves Tesla. Now Elon Musk, 6th tallest statue in the U.S.
No chance in hell Tulsa is the headquarters for Tesla.
There's
no
0% chance. So Tulsa has a statue that no one's ever heard of. Is going to pay.
They painted a clown's face, basically.
That's incredible. I know we haven't gotten to this segment. It's coming up. Not sexy, not sexy. But if none of us had a not sexy, right there would have been a good one.
I want you though. It's kind of sexy.
I had one other note or news piece. Was Dak? Have you guys seen the rumbling? So
yeah.
He's going to get paid. He's a quarterback of the Cowboys. We've been talking about that.
Cowboys always pay. Cowboys always pay too.
Gary pays. And they're offering like $35 million a year, and apparently he's asking for $45 million a year.
Just ridiculous.
You set your leverage point high. Like, I get what he's doing. It's just crazy. Quarterbacks are making baseball money now.
It's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, they're all going to start to.
The difference is there's a salary cap in football, though. So the piece of the pie that he takes leaves the smaller piece of the pie for the rest of his team.
The cap's going to have to go up. I mean, that's just natural, right?
Like, there comes a point where as a quarterback, too, you want the best players, you want the best line protecting you. Where's that threshold that
Right.
enough is enough, and I'd rather have, not get sacked 3 times a game.
Well, thankfully, he inherited an amazing offensive line, right?
Right.
So,
They gotta pay
I
him.
mean, so he has that, but I mean, now he's gonna have to pay some of those guys. I mean, they're getting a little bit older, but like going back to Tom Brady, that's something he did so well all through New England. He took pay cuts. Now, it probably helps that, like you said, Dave, he's got a wife that makes more money than he does. But it's not like, come on, so you go from $24 to $20 million a year, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Give me a break. So, in Dak, look, I know that I think Dak is the second winningest quarterback in the NFL since he's came in behind Tom Brady, which most people don't realize, but he hasn't won a Super Bowl, and they expect Super Bowls about. I mean, every year the Eagles are better than them.
Just wait till something goes awry, and those crazy people up in Dallas are going to start saying, we want to see Dalton, which is the dumbest thing ever. Like,
we want Dalton.
It's going to happen, though. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to happen.
I told you the first soundbite I had on that was, like, that is going to be – like, there's going to be a tumultuous season just around that whole situation. They shouldn't have brought Andy Dalton.
But they had a good offseason. They had a good draft. I mean, we'll see.
Any other news and notes?
No, I don't have any other ones.
Let's kick it to sexy, not sexy. Jeff, give us your start with your sexy. What was sexy this week?
So my sexy, and this is broad, and it actually has been going on for a while. I'm going to go ahead and just say 30 for 30 by ESPN. Thank you for bringing us the Jordan documentary. I mean, and there's been so many up to this point. I mean, the OJ, the U, all of those, the betting scandal. Remember, seeing that one at NCAA basketball out in Boston, the betting scandal back then. I mean, there's been so many good ones. So that's my sexy. Thank you very much. This time, we're hopefully starting to come to an end where we're going to get some more live sports. But 30 for 30, Disney, Netflix, ESPN. I mean, that's one of the sexiest things going on right now.
Super sexy. What about you, Dave?
Super sexy.
I want to bundle mine together. So, John, why don't you go first?
Okay. So, shout out to coronavirus. Coronavirus isn't the sexy thing of the week, but they helped enable the sexy thing to happen. So,
okay.
I'm not sure. I was not aware of this segment of the population, especially the car-loving culture in America. But there's something called cannonball runs. And what you do is you start out in New York City in Manhattan at the Red Bull Garage. And the goal is you're trying to get to – it's some hotel in like Santa Monica or somewhere in Southern California. It's how fast can you get across the country. Car enthusiasts do this. It's like an underground thing. It's highly illegal, like modified cars with like 1 million gas tanks in the trunk. Like you stop once, like they don't sleep. It's a race, and it's a badge of honor. So it's been broken 5 times in like the past 2 weeks during coronavirus because no one's on the freaking highway. So people are doing cannonball runs. You can go research this on Twitter and stuff. They're all like, it's like some like rich like 40-year-old dude with like 8 Porsches, like the winners, taking their pictures. It's awesome though. Like.
That is awesome.
It used to be 28 hours. Before coronavirus, it's down to 26 hours.
That is awesome.
Sexy of the week is cannonball runs.
All right, that is sexy.
I'll segue that. I've made a couple road trips during this coronavirus and a couple stints down at my parents'. And the road trip from Chicago to St. Louis, I've done, 8 years in Chicago. I've probably done that trip like 50 times now almost. And I've been booking it.
Flying. No one's on the road.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're social distancing on the road, which is safe and smart, Dave. Good job.
That's right.
Exactly. But on that note, sexy and not sexy is staying and living with your parents. As a 32-year-old.
That's a fair one. That's very fair.
My parents are awesome. Love them, love being home. A lot more space than my girlfriend and I's 1 bedroom in downtown Chicago. So, I get free golf, get free meals. It's really nice, walk around the suburbs, nice little trail, get the dogs out there. Suburb life is growing on me. It's coming up short. But the not sexy part of that is being a 32 independent person, I don't need mom and dad chiming in when I have an extra beer or I'm playing an extra game of Warzone. I'm dropping in with my
That happened a lot,
boys.
Dave.
Just dad chiming in. You play video games? Ooh, you doing this? You know what, Dad? I am a 32-year-old. Video games are maybe a thing of young people, but
Your social
games are blowing
distancing.
up. It's talking to my people. It's talking to John. He's abroad, playing with all my friends. We're interacting. We're socializing. So I'm doing both. I'm not just sitting there playing a mindless video game. I'm
It's how you
interacting.
got to socialize now. It's how you got to socialize.
Hey, that is sexy and not sexy. That's a good one.
And
Dave, that is a good one. That is a good one. My not sexy is going back to my original sexy was 30 for 30. My not sexy would be the 30 for 30 that has to follow the Michael Jordan documentary.
Right.
It's one of the best.
It's going to be Kobe. Just like everything else in his life.
There's one coming out with Lance Armstrong this Sunday.
Lance Armstrong, everyone hates him already. Like,
and it looks interesting. Like I'm sure I'll watch it. But coming off of a 10-part amazing, 30 for 30 series, and then all of a sudden you got to be the one that follows. That can't be sexy. Can't feel great. But hey, I'm sure it will get a lot of views.
I'm pumped for the McGuire-Sosa one.
Yeah, I'm excited. I wish they were doing that one first, and then I'm excited about the Bruce Lee one too. I'm kind of like
Dave on the McGuire Cardinals thing. I don't have.
Dude, I was 10 years old.
We're not going to get into it. We're not going to get into it.
Growing up in St. Louis, 10 years old,
cards.
that was a thing, and I'm excited. Just like MJ, we were too young to fully comprehend everything going on. I was too young with McGuire and Sosa, so that one's gonna be awesome.
I'm kidding.
Hey, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Yes, like that will be pretty cool to see.
It'll be good. John, what's your not sexy?
Sloths.
Ha!
Jesus.
I was
Sloths.
looking.
All right.
That's it. What do you need me to say? They're not sexy.
What about them? What do you mean? People love sloths. People love sloths, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Screw them. I hope they all get coronavirus.
You ever heard of the sloth
They're
swimming?
probably immune.
All right, I'm kidding about that, but like, I saw a video of like one crawling on the driveway, and they've got those like, long, like human-like arms, and then like the tentacle, like claw. Creepiest freaking thing ever, and it's so ugly. Not sexy sloths. Debate that.
Okay. All right. Hey, that's fair, but I bet I will argue. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are pages that are like cute sloth videos on like Instagram and stuff, and people love that shit.
Yeah, because they never got close to one and looked at it. And imagine smelling one of those things.
They probably smell terrible. They're like a big, long-armed weasel. Is kind of what they look like, or like ferret, something like that. You know what I mean?
They're like a zombie. It's a zombie animal. That's what a sloth.
Okay,
is. That's as close to a living zombie as we have.
I guess that could be. All right, so that's John. That's John. I like it. I like it, John. I like it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
As we had mentioned before, Dave is our resident college football expert, and I think all of us have been very excited for this. What we're about to unleash right here is the college players since year 2000. So anyone who's played college ball in the past 20 years is eligible starting right now for our fantasy draft. We're going to do a full team essentially, or anything that's of interest. So 2 quarterbacks
with an additional quarterback. Yeah.
2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 offensive lineman because they're boring.
Oh, man. 3
defensive linemen. They are, let's be honest. 3 defensive linemen. If you want D tackle, they be tackle. If you want DN, they can be DN. Am I describing this right?
Yeah, that's fine.
2 linebackers, and then 1 safety, 1 cornerback, and then a defensive back. It could be either. Then we also have an X, or like a kick returner. Basically, this is just the guy, like, let's just call it kick returner. Just a guy who's electric with the ball in his hands, punt return.
No. I thought the X was just an X factor on offense, defense, whatever it could be.
All right, fine, done.
1 X.
To win. Let's go.
Are we doing
we're also including a coach. Is that right?
And I think the coach we pick last. We pick last to coach the whole team. We pick the coach to coach the whole team.
Based on your team.
I can't start with the coach?
Based on your team. Huh?
I can't start with the coach? Why can't I do that?
No, don't.
No, because you're not going to.
You don't. Okay, all right.
No, I think we picked the coach at the end. Coach your team,
Okay, agreed.
unless you want to draft your coach first.
I don't agree,
Well,
but I agree. I'm overruled. This is a democracy we live in.
that's fine. That's
so
fine.
we did a random generator before this, and the draft order is Dave, our guest, with the first overall pick. That was not because you're a guest. It is random. Second will be Jeff, and then I'll be third. Snake format. Dave, kick us off.
You know, when I got the first pick, I was looking for reasons not to select this guy, basically. But, you know, all the stats that I was going through, there's no reason not to pick him, especially the division that he was in, playing in the SEC, the numbers that he put up, the Heisman winner, the national championship, the number 1 overall pick. And it's not a recency bias. It's stats. They are, objective. I'm going with Joe Burrow.
Oh!
Listen
I did not think you were going to say that name.
I knew he was going to after he kept talking about it, but yeah.
60 touchdowns. He's responsible for 60 touchdowns. That's the most ever. He had everybody else in yardage is like Colt Brennan, Graham Harrell, all these like gunslingers. And then it's Joe Burrow. And I was looking for reasons not to pick him, but dominating the SEC like he did this year, the stats that he put up, I got to go. Joe Burrow.
Look, Dave, I think it's a great pick. He was definitely on my list. It's hard not to say you can actually factually, based on stats, say he had the best college football season of all time.
He did.
You can actually say that. You can also say he might have been on the best college football team of all time. So he had some of the best supporting cast around him, but that's not taking anything away from him.
We're calling the best. Oh, that's a whole nother segment for another day. All right.
John, you and I just did the best college football teams last podcast, and we both put Joe Burrow's LSU Tigers at number 1. Now, being the quarterback of that team says a lot too. So, hey, not mad about that pick, Dave.
The intangibles to come to a new team, to not be there all 4 years, to take that team, for them to all, rally
and dominate.
around him. It's
dominate.
Yep, I'm going him.
We did. Just
all right, hey, not mad about it.
I might change my mind.
And welcome to Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Again.
Now, because Dave just took Joe Burrow, and I didn't think he was going to, I'm going to pick the person I thought he was going to pick, who on most lists, if you look at, is usually the number 1 overall college football player in the past 20 years or past 10 years, and that's going to be Tim Tebow.
That's exactly what I thought. I think he is too. He is, except for who I'm about to tell you about. But finish on your Tebow.
So, and listen, another disclaimer on this list is it's only for 1 year. It doesn't matter that Tim Tebow was basically a 4-year starter. This is 1 year.
Look, I get that. No, it's if I'm going to draft a team right now to win a national championship, it's really hard for me to go away from Tim Tebow, who won the Heisman, almost won a second Heisman, and then he had the year where they lost to Ole Miss. He goes to the podium, he cries, says, "I promise we won't lose another game," and they didn't win another game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they didn't lose another game. They won the rest of the season, so he's my pick.
Yeah, I think Tebow's fantastic. He would be my quarterback pick. I had Burrow on the same tier. But
you got to.
The ironic thing is who I'm about to say actually got his Heisman Trophy taken away. It's Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush is the greatest college football player I've seen with my eyes in my entire life. The cutback against Fresno State on a late Friday night, I think in like 2004, it's literally burned into my memory. If you wanted a dynamic playmaker who can do anything for you, you want an X factor, there's your X factor. Reggie Bush, first off the board. Following him up the same year, 05, Vince Young. I'm going to take Vince Young.
I knew you were going to do that.
Vince Young and Reggie Bush. I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about that.
I like both those picks. I was sad that you took Reggie but you have 2 picks, so I knew he was going to be gone the first 4 picks. But when Dave took Burrow, I had to take Tebow. And if he would have taken Tebow, I probably would have taken Reggie Bush. So I think that's fair.
Vince Young and Reggie Bush. Can you imagine them on the same team in college?
No. What do you think,
How
Dave?
do you stop that? I don't even need a team. You can give me like the Mount Union
option.
line.
They would dominate. Yep, we know.
All right, Jeff.
Okay, so this is probably going to surprise you, but in my opinion, he got robbed of the Heisman Trophy winner. He was the most dominant football player on earth when he played, and I think just completely changed the game. My defensive tackle, Ndamukong Suh.
Really?
I love
Dude,
that.
I was gonna go him next, actually.
Yeah,
I love that.
I think he got robbed of the Heisman Trophy. He changed the game that year more than anybody from a nose tackle position. I mean, like it's just like coming from a guy who played defensive line at nowhere near his level. I loved watching him play. So like it's it was Ndamukong Suh.
Great pick.
I love it.
Thank you.
So this is tough.
You get 2 here, Dave.
Yeah, don't pull a Graham and take like 10 minutes to figure out who you want for your second pick.
No, I think I'm going to go with the running back that stood out to me. The stats aren't all there. I mean, obviously he won a Heisman and I think was nominated for another. I'm going Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, that's good.
He was my second running back ranked.
I mean, yeah, AP.
What year AP won the Heisman? What year did AP win the Heisman?
Good question. 04?
5? Yeah, I don't know.
I know. Yeah. Hold on. Wait a minute. Adrian Peterson did not win a Heisman Trophy.
That's what I was kind of thinking. He might not have because I think that was
No.
who was the winner in 05? Oh, was it Reggie?
05?
Or no, it was Reggie 06. I can't remember. Who knows? One of you guys got it.
Wait, in this list it goes from 04 to 06. So wait, did he win it in 05?
Reggie won 05. You got it removed.
Yeah.
Taken away.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so he didn't. But hey, look, Dave, I wasn't bashing your pick there. That taking Adrian Peterson there is a great pick. So
if we're bashing your picks already, you got serious problems ahead of you.
And then I think I'm going to switch to the defensive side of the ball and take an anchor on that. And the general of my defense is RIP Sean Taylor.
I knew you were going to say that.
I wrote his name and I crossed it off, but he's a good one.
He's a great one.
Just, everything from stopping the run, defense, returning his interceptions.
So do you have him at safety or defensive back, Dave?
Let's do safety for now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So for my second pick, I'm going to pick the best college wide receiver of the past 20 years. Second overall in Heisman Trophy of voting as a wide receiver, which does not happen a lot, but Larry Fitzgerald.
He was the first one on mine too, man. Yeah. Larry Fitz is a great one. You said everything you said was right, except he isn't the greatest college wide receiver of the past 20 years. That honor would belong to Michael Crabtree, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Crabtree at Texas Tech.
Fitzgerald was better.
Crabtree is the pick. So he won the Biletnikoff twice. Who else won the Biletnikoff twice? Anyone know? My next pick, Justin Blackmon out of Oklahoma State University. I have Vince Young, Reggie Bush, and 4 Biletnikoffs. Oh my gosh. Get out of town. Back to you,
That's
Jeff.
fine. That's fair. So then, all right, for my next pick. That's tough. But I'm going to go ahead and go running back and a guy who absolutely dominated when he was there. And let's go ahead and go with Darren McFadden.
Ooh, run DMC. I love that. He won the Doak Walk twice. The Doak Walker Award or whatever. Twice.
He was also the SEC Player of the Year, set tons of records in the SEC, was an absolute force for Arizona.
I love that. You want to talk about a burst? He had a burst. I just remember, being a kid, and you see him just get through that second level, and he's in that Arkansas red, and he's gone.
He's one of the best. I mean, one of the best college football players for the past 20 years, obviously.
Love it.
So I'm also going to go running back, and considering the top 2 are still available, I'm going Derrick Henry.
Henry. Okay.
He had the most touches in a season. Like, I think it was second ever. He was touching the ball. Just an absolute bell cow, winning the Heisman. Derrick Henry and AP at running back.
Okay.
You can't argue with that. We talked about him last episode. He's a freak.
And then you get two picks.
Yep. The other receiver that stood out in all the lists and stats I did, Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
He, a lot of good Alabama receivers have gone through, but he actually put up a season and some great stats, and he's doing it in the pros. So Amari.
Good deal. So for mine, this one's probably going to come out of left field for you a little bit, but stats were first started as a statistical, recorded statistically by the NCAA since 2000. And the man that still has that record for most sacks in a single season is defensive end Terrell Suggs out of Arizona State, who is an absolute force and an animal from defensive end. So good luck blocking my defensive line that has Ndamukong Suh and Terrell Suggs.
I love that. And it's hilarious that I love that you're going D line. It's so fitting. To counter that, I'm gonna go ahead and select the most intimidating defensive lineman I think I've ever seen in college football, Jadeveon Clowney.
That's a good pick.
Jadeveon, the hit in the Michigan game, that was like, you wanted a good example of like just the SEC versus the Big Ten in that time period. That sums it up right there, Jadeveon. I'll take him. I'm going to go to the offensive side of the ball now on the line as well. I'm taking Joe Thomas as my singular offensive lineman. How do you deal with a good defensive line? A good offensive line. And Joe Thomas, best we've seen come through college football in 20 years. Joe Thomas.
I'll disagree with you because I know who was better and higher rated on most lists when I pick him. But I'm going to go ahead and go with my safety, who is arguably the best safety in the history of the NFL, and on most lists the best safety in college. But Ed Reed.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of salty right now. I should have taken him.
Yep.
Dang it.
Yep.
He's my favorite.
Ed Reed, the name speaks for himself right there. I mean, amazing in college, obviously incredible pros. It doesn't matter with this list, but just figured I'd go ahead and say that.
Love it.
Second time you've snagged one right before me. I'm going to continue, stay on defense, work up the middle. You got to build inside out, middle linebacker, Patrick Willis.
Yep. All right. I like that.
Absolutely killing it. Comes to the NFL, takes the Niners, So I'm going Patrick Willis, and then I think do I want to go corner or safety again? I'm staying safety, and I'm going Eric Berry out of Tennessee.
I had him as well. Eric Berry is your safety. So you want to put him as defensive back because you already had Sean Taylor.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Eric Berry.
Yeah, Eric Berry is a really, really good pick.
University of Tennessee.
Do you put it? Yeah. That is good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go back. I'm actually going to go ahead and go back to the running back position and pick a guy who when you watch him play, and I know he's more recent, but when you watch him play, it was unlike anyone who's coming out. And I'm going to go Saquon Barkley.
Saquonimo? Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still have running backs, Mono?
What are you going to say? Are you going to say Mark Ingram was better? Are you going to say,
Hey, don't steal any of my names. Right now I just have Reggie Bush.
Danian Tomlinson, Melvin Gordon, Christian McCaffrey.
No. Let's go through at the end. Let's go through at the end by position and name some names that maybe we didn't take.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah. No, it's me.
It's John.
Sorry, I was being stupid. Let's see. So for my second quarterback, I'm going to take Cam Newton. I ranted and raved about Cam Newton last time. He goes from Gulf Coast, Mississippi college or community college, where the heck it is, plopped right into the SEC in the midst of the emergence of the Alabama dynasty. Not only beats them, wins the Heisman, wins the national championship, and is first selected off the board. Cam Newton, one of the greatest years I've ever seen on that side of the ball. I'm going to go back to the SEC as a cornerback, Pat Peterson.
Yeah.
Taking him to shore up the back end of the defense.
So I'm going to go – that's a really good pick. Patrick Peterson's still awesome. Incredible in college. John thought that he grabbed the two best wide receivers. I'm going to go ahead and solidify my wide receiver core as the two best wide receivers in college football the past 20 years. And my second one is going to be Calvin Johnson.
So you guys are done at receiver. So I'll save mine for last pick, maybe.
You can do whatever you want.
And
Calvin's a beast.
I'm going to go cornerback and go the man that has his own island, Revis Island.
Where he played Pitt?
Yeah.
I don't even remember him talking. We're talking about college.
Because he's not on. That's because he's not on. He's not on any list when it comes to college.
Trash pick.
No. He was up there. And then
I know you were scrapping for defensive players late before this, but man, I got about 10 others.
No, I'm saving
reach in there.
Oh.
And then
there, Dave.
Let's go. Do I want to do? I'll do my other QB and Heisman Trophy winner RG3.
Yeah.
I was between him and Winston, but RG3. He beat out Luck.
I like that.
I know he was number 2.
He won the Heisman. It's about the only thing you won at Baylor, but yeah, good pick otherwise.
Yeah.
So you guys are both done with quarterbacks. I'm going to go ahead and solidify my offensive line, get it out of the way, and pick the best offensive lineman in the past 20 years from college football. And it's a guy by the name of Bryant McKinney, the offensive tackle from the Miami Hurricanes.
I like that. I think he won McKinney. He played for the
he is the only offensive lineman.
He played for Minnesota forever, didn't he?
He is the only offensive lineman in the BCS era and beyond to be voted in the top 10 of Heisman Trophy winners as an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive. Hopefully no one a year, like I've said in all other episodes, hopefully no one that you draft is that full of holes. So far, Darrell Rodriguez is the only one.
It's not a hole.
So back to me, huh? All right. At running back, out of Conference USA, no one tore up Conference USA football like this from 2002, 2003, and 2004. Like D'Angelo Williams from the University of Memphis, one of the all-time great careers for anyone, anywhere. You're a stats guy, Dave. Right. Who had more rushing yards than him? No one. When his career ended, he had more rushing yards than anyone in NCAA history. That's all-time great. In the past 20 years, that's certainly good enough to make my list. I'm going to take D'Angelo Williams.
There are so many running backs that we're going to leave off.
Guys, Kevin Smith out of UCF has the most rushing yards.
Yeah. This was back in 2004. Who had it in 2004?
Kevin Smith was 2007.
Who had it in 2004?
2,600
D'Angelo Williams.
2,600 rushing yards. Kevin Smith out of UCF. Next most all-time, Melvin Gordon, 2,670.
You should like D'Angelo because he did something in the NFL. Apparently, that's how you're judging your list, Dave.
No.
So I'll take D'Angelo, and then with the other one, I'm going to go to the other side of the ball.
Oh, yeah.
You got Ndamukong Suh, big bad boy in the middle. I'll take Glenn Dorsey from the LSU Tigers to shore up the line.
Got to take him. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and go with my defensive end, which you can put him in Epps, you can put him outside linebacker. It doesn't matter. One of the greatest defensive ends that ever played the game, Julius Peppers.
Dude, I knew you were going to him. Drop Jeff. There he goes.
I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you. Julius Peppers is probably the best athlete on the list. That's for sure.
He might. He played college basketball at North Carolina. and football.
Probably the best defensive end too. He's a stud.
Yeah.
I got nothing to say. How the hell did I take Jadeveon Clowney ahead of him? Seriously.
I mean, my defensive line, you cannot dispute that my defensive line is the best. You can't dispute it.
I don't know. That's for the viewers to decide, Jeff.
I guess you're right.
You'll
right.
call all the shots, man.
That's right.
So we're doing 2 linebackers, right?
Yes.
And then I'm doing 2 edge, basically. I'm doing 2 middle and 2 edge. So I'm thinking about it. And then
That's
1
fine. Yeah.
tackle.
Well, no. If are you saying you're going to do? We're doing 1 linebacker, 1 linebacker. 2 total. 2 total linebackers.
2 total linebackers, but what at D line?
D line, there's 3 D linemen. You can do edge. You can do
right.
D tackles. Yep.
So I'm going to go another linebacker and Luke Kuechly. You know, he was awesome at BC.
He was. He was an all-time NCAA leading tackler. That's a great approach to take people who led in their respective categories during their time. It's a great way to approach it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm done at linebacker now. And just to shore up the interior, I'm going Nick Fairley. With him and Cam Newton took that team for Auburn. SEC killer.
Yeah.
Nick Fairley.
Yep. Fairley was a beast. So my middle linebacker, gonna be a guy who.
Gonna be a guy.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be a guy. 2-time Chuck Bednar winner, 2-time All-American, Butkus Award winner, Paul Posluszny out of Penn State.
He was my next pick. I loved Paul Posluszny.
Yeah.
He's that just classic Polish Pennsylvania guy.
Penn State backer, bro.
Can you design a sharper chin than that guy? He's just made to wreck you.
Looks like an action figure.
He's made to wreck you. And he had a great career in Jacksonville. No one really watched him in Jacksonville, I feel like, but he had a great NFL career.
He did. Oh yeah.
Awesome. So I guess to counter that, I'll take the closest thing that I have. AJ Hawk. If you want the Buckeye version
over Laurinaitis?
Posluszny, I'm not done yet, Dave.
I'll take
AJ Hawk.
Too.
You know what? I was, but I'm not going to take him yet. We'll think about that because that one's out there. Let's see here. I'm going to go back to safety. I'm going to take Troy Polamalu out of the University of Southern California. Troy Polamalu in the back with Pat Peterson. Woof.
Sean Taylor and Ed Reed are Eric Berry. Jeff?
Yeah. All right. I like the I like that pick. I'm gonna go ahead and go with another defensive back who was Big 10 defensive player, or Big 12 defensive player of the year, unanimous first team All-American, set the school record for most tackles by a defensive back, Roy Williams.
Yeah. He came up on a bunch of lists.
Roy Williams out of the University of Oklahoma.
That's right.
Oklahoma. Beast, dude. People forget about him on those Cowboys teams, how bad he was. He's strong safety before they got rid of the strong safety, you know?
He's my defensive back there. Still got a cornerback to pick, but that's my defensive back. Go ahead and go, Dave.
So I think I'll take my offensive lineman. I'm pretty sure he played every O-line position for 2 or 3 national championships. Barrett Jones at Alabama.
Yeah. Never heard of him.
It was just a name that I think they highlighted him on all the telecasts.
Every O-line list.
Yeah.
Every O-line list. Barrett Jones was unbelievable.
Yeah. So I'm going with Barrett Jones. And then to stick with the big guys, the only tight end that came up on the top 50 receiving yards in the last 20 years, Jermaine Gresham.
Oh, my gosh. As Bengals fans.
John, I think you remember our NCAA days back freshman or sophomore year in the frat house.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't taken Steve Slayton or Pat White yet.
No, Mizzou was my Chase Daniel and J Mac was my team, but you were always Oklahoma, I thought, and Gresham. His stats lighted up, tight end, big guy.
Light it up.
He did light it up, but unfortunately, Dave, you took the second best tight end on the list that from what we could be picking from, and that's going to go ahead and go to Kellen Winslow Jr.
Oh, I thought you were going with the Iowa boy for a second. I
Okay,
have.
Dallas Clark.
Yeah, that's who I thought you were taking. Surprise, little twist there. Nice.
Kellen Winslow, the best tight end in college football the past 20 years.
I agree. He's had a very heinous end to his
Yes.
run, but great tight end nonetheless.
Yeah. Not as bad as I mean, yeah. There's been a couple of tight end problems here. We won't get
We're
into
talking about them in college, right? Nothing that happened
yeah.
after no judges.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. For the last defensive lineman position, do I want to do that? No, I'm not going to do that. For the defensive back, I'm going to take the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah.
He'll be my wild card safety, put him a nickel, whatever I need, he's going to do. For my X factor, take Percy Harvin. Percy, welcome to the squad.
Good one.
Percy Harvin for your X factor.
Can you find a better one? Because I couldn't think of one. Actually, shoot.
No.
Yeah, I can think of a couple of them.
Yep, I got a few. Go ahead, Jeff.
So for my X factor, I'm going to go ahead and go with Christian McCaffrey. You ever heard of him?
Solid.
Heck of a pro.
It was a heck of a college football player too. Yeah, so that's gonna be my pick there.
The Stanford days. Who is this quarterback? I can't remember. Who was
exactly?
Was
and he put up all, and he did all that stuff without him.
Yeah, he's good. Is he better than?
All right, so I'll go. The other.
Yes, he's better than Percy Harvin.
All these guys kind of blended together in those Big 12 years. Crabtree, Blackman, and Des Bryant.
I love that. He was one of my X.
That is a good pick.
Des.
You meant wideout
That's
or?
good.
Yeah, he's my second wideout. So I got him and Amari at receiver. And then I'll just finish my offense with my X factor, CJ Spiller. I know, John, it was funny you texted it. He had 5 return touchdowns, which 6 all time is the highest return touchdowns in a season. He had 5, as well as 6 other rushing touchdowns, and I think it was like 3 receiving. So CJ Spiller, X factor.
Like it.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to go ahead and steal this one here for you from a linebacker spot, and my second linebacker is going to be James Laurinaitis.
Laurinaitis. Take him. Throw him to the Wolves. I chose AJ over him. That's just leftovers from my team. No offense. I'll sure up. Let's take Malcolm Jenkins. He's kind of he plays safety and cornerback. He won the Jim Thorpe.
Where are you putting him? You don't have room for him.
Sure do.
Where? You have Peterson, Paul, Mill, and Matthew.
I'm gonna put Malcolm as my defensive back. And
you have defensive backs.
3 D backs, max.
I have Pat Peterson, corner.
Troy
Right?
Polamalu. And
Tyrann Mathieu, safety.
And Troy Polamalu, defensive back.
Shoot. You're right. Oh, my God. You're right. All right. Screw that. John Vilma, linebacker, the U. I'll also take Vernon Davis as the tight end out of Maryland.
Some better ones out there. But that's fine.
I forgot I had Polamalu. I wrote it really small, so when I circled it, my bad.
So I'm going to go ahead and go with a guy that returned kicks, returned punts, 2-time All Big 12, All-American, first-round pick, Terrence Newman out of Kansas State as a cornerback.
The what?
Your temperature checked recently, Jeff?
On most lists you look at him, he's a top 10 cornerback, included with the safeties, since for the past 20 years. Higher than Malcolm Jenkins on most lists, so go ahead and look it up, even though you wanted him. And I wasn't going to take that pick that you thought you had. Go ahead and put him on my team. So Terrence Newman. Yep.
That was a good rebuttal. I can't argue.
So Dave's got 2 D linemen he's got to take here.
So, and both edge. The one that I have written down that I'm definitely taking and is Von Miller.
Ooh.
Von killed it at
A&M?
A&M and then was a top 10 pick.
I'll let you take that, although he was listed as a linebacker, but I'll let you take it.
Wait,
He
you're
was
taking
an
him
edge
at
player.
D end?
Yeah.
He was an edge player. He was an
No.
edge player. He was an edge player.
Yeah.
He was an edge player. No, that's fair.
Yes,
It's
you're
fair.
right. You're so much
fair.
nicer than me. He's a
It's
gas.
fair.
We'll allow that.
Because I have Fairley in the middle, and then I have Patrick Willis and Kuechly in the middle at linebacker. So my edge guys are going to be Von Miller, and then my second one I'm going with, which I'm kind of been scrambling for, and I think it's my last pick, player-wise,
It
is Daquan Bowers.
Tell us about Daquan, Dave.
Unanimous All-American in 2010 at D end. He beat out Ryan Kerrigan, J.J. Watt, and some other guys. Unanimous All-American 2010, Daquan Bowers.
So who you probably should have taken was probably Chase Young, who might be the best defensive end that we've seen outside of the guys that I took.
False.
But
Who you should have taken is David Pollock. David Pollock.
He's a linebacker. He's a linebacker.
No, he was the D end. He
Oh,
switched.
yeah, you're right.
He was
You're
a
right.
D end.
You're right.
He was SEC Defensive Player of the
That
Year.
is who you should have taken.
David
No,
Pollock,
he's-
ladies and gentlemen.
He's right. That is who you should have taken. That'll be John's last pick. Will be David Pollock.
And now I got to go to coach. Now I got to go to
No,
coach.
it's me. I go first here,
I get
and then
two
you get two
picks.
picks. I haven't gone yet, John.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. So my second quarterback. So I have Tim Tebow, Heisman Trophy winner. My second quarterback is going to be Lamar Jackson, who made defenses look absolute silly his entire college career. Him and Tebow were two guys that could have won two Heisman Trophies. They didn't. But out of any other quarterbacks, were the closest to it. Go ahead and go, John.
I already went pretty much. Sorry about that.
Pollock is an amazing
David
pick.
Pollock.
Very, very good
And then
pick.
for our
Yeah.
coach, Pete Carroll. We'll take Pete.
Okay.
Thank you. I just won the draft. Let's go ahead and go
Only
Nick
reason
Saban for my coach.
All right, let me tell you. Let me make you learned. The only reason there is a Nick Saban, the only reason there is an Urban Meyer is because Pete Carroll went to the NFL. The best coaches in the land, they coach the best. They go to the pros.
Hey, but guess what? We're not talking about NFL. We're not talking about NFL. We're talking about what they did
what
in
did
college.
Pete do? Pete owned the freaking kingdom. He was on the.
He has not done what Nick Saban did.
He
hasn't done what Nick Saban did. He
Oh,
hasn't done
dude,
what
because he
Nick Saban
didn't
did.
want to. I'm talking about college
That's
coach.
not my
If you want him
problem.
for 1
That's
year,
not
if
my
you want him for
problem.
1 year, come on, man. Pete Carroll is my coach. Take the scraps.
That's fine. All right, so John's coach is Pete Carroll. I'll go ahead and that's fine. My coach will be Nick Saban, who most people would go ahead and say is the best coach of all time in college football. You could say what happened in pro football. That's fine. Guess what? Tim Tebow is my first overall pick. Didn't have a great NFL career. We're not talking pro football. We're talking about what they've done in college. So, Pete, go win your Super Bowls. You're a great football coach
Best
in the
coach on the
NFL.
list.
Maybe in the NFL also, but we're talking college. Nick Saban's the greatest college football coach of all time. I've rested my case. Dave, go ahead.
I hate saying this with two Ohio guys, but Jim Tressel.
What? Over
So you already taken Urban over him.
100%. He's got 3 and Jim had 1.
Sure.
That's a tough one to split, right?
No, I mean, you guys know Tressel built that
Great coach.
that program.
Great
pretty much.
coach.
Sweater vest.
Hey,
You know,
great coach. Great coach.
Yeah.
Great coach. Well, look, all right. So our lists are done. We're gonna post these. We want to know which team do you think out of all of these would win the national title or win the most games out of our 3 teams. That was a lot of fun, fellas. What do you guys think?
I'd love to do another one like this.
Are we already done?
College. I love the college.
That's it, Dave. That's it, brother.
Man.
We'll do another one
Keep
for
going? Dave, what do you want to talk about? We can keep going. There's no end. I got nowhere to go, man.
No.
Some other names on the list that I didn't call. Let's go through that.
Yeah.
Trevor
Some names we
Lawrence.
didn't talk about.
Andrew Luck. Braylon Edwards from Michigan.
Yes.
Come on.
No, let's
Um,
let's
Dude,
start.
Braylon Edwards was a stud on
Let's
that
do
team.
it by position.
Ted Ginn for the Buckeyes. That's why I should have taken an X.
I thought about Ted coming in at X. Dave, you're right. We should go by position here. When it comes to quarterback, Troy Smith,
Colt McCoy.
Marcus Mariota, Johnny Manziel, Sam Bradford, Matt Leinart,
Carson Palmer,
Baker's up there.
Baker, Kyler Murray's up there.
Trevor Lawrence, ladies and gentlemen.
At running back, Jonathan Taylor,
Terrell Pryor,
Monty Ball,
Garrett Wolf.
All right. Yeah, I mean, yes. Hey, look, I'm a Mac guy. I love it.
MJD, Maurice Jones-Drew at UCLA. You remember how dope he was that one year?
Yeah, at an X Factor, he would have been good too.
Remember Gurley in college? He was explosive.
Gurley.
Zeke.
Yeah.
How about Zeke for the Buckeyes?
Cedric Benson.
Yeah. Le'Veon Bell was awesome.
Cadillac Williams.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell was awesome. Cadillac Williams was awesome. What about wide receiver? Who do we leave off from wide receiver?
I already called him out. Braylon Edwards was the big one for me and Ted Ginn.
What's Braylon Edwards?
Mike Williams.
His college, like he was the Blitnikoff winner. He was the best.
Yeah.
He was like
Braylon Edwards won
third overall pick. He was a stud, man.
So here, let me just tell you. So
I just realized that I dropped the first F-bomb on the Jungle podcast. I apologize.
Bam.
In one season, so this is only single season since the year 2000. The people with the most receiving yards: Michael Crabtree, 1962.
Who drafted him? I forgot.
You. Next one, Jordan White out of Western Michigan. Doesn't count. Greg Salas doesn't count.
That's not fair to say that they just don't.
Dude, if you're just judging it based off yards, like, all right.
What do you want? Touchdown?
Okay.
Overall, I mean, it's you can't just go on stats. The best two wide receivers, Larry Fitzgerald's best wide receiver. He finished second in the Heisman Trophy voting, and then Calvin Johnson.
Because
come at me about the wide receivers. Those are the two best wide receivers that you could have taken.
Because you're right. Fitz in 2003 had 1,600 yards and 22 touchdowns.
Fitz is the only player from Pittsburgh that belongs on any of these lists.
Aaron Donald.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm so stupid. I was trying to get a dig at Dave for taking this. That was my aim there. Aaron Donald, Vince Wilfork. How about Brian Arakpo out of UT back in the day? Remember him?
Arakpo was an animal. He was an animal.
Reuben Foster was a bad man. Bob Sanders out of Iowa.
Yeah, you know what? That's funny. There's a lot of safeties that you might take over him though. Like Mike Doss, yeah, was a beast too. A lot of X. I thought about going defense with my X and throwing in Isaiah Simmons in there because he's a linebacker that literally played everything to a cornerback.
Straight up, yeah.
You know,
Michael Huff.
So a couple of stats from scrimmage. The top yards from scrimmage, receiving and rushing. Kevin Smith, 2,800. Melvin Gordon, number 2, 2,740. Christian McCaffrey, number 3. Larry Johnson, Penn State, at 4. And then Matt Forte, Tulane.
Forte, yeah.
Number 5. Derrick Henry, Jay Ajayi, Ray Rice.
Jay Ajayi.
Ray Rice, that's another one that could have been picked too.
Jonathan Taylor, back-to-back years, 18 and 19. He's at 12 and 13 scrimmage yards. So
yeah,
for 2 seasons combined, he is the highest.
He's had an amazing career. I mean, I think he broke all Monty Ball's record, and Monty Ball broke. Or Ron Dane, I think he broke Ron Dane's record. Ron Dane's records are amazing.
The Doak Walker award winner has been from Wisconsin, I think 3 times in the past 10 years. Same as for the Jim Thorpe from LSU, which is kind of
LSU. Yeah.
Another one,
hey, fellas,
that just made the list is LaTainian Tomlinson in 2000.
I know, I saw.
I know. See, that's the thing. It was tough. That you're right. He could have been on it. Yeah. He could have been on it.
Man, it's fun though, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
After 11 days, welcome back.
Yeah, we'll have you on again for sure.
No doubt.
Huh?
Take us home, Jeff.
Well, fellas, that was a good time. Appreciate the draft. We will throw these up, like you said, on Twitter. Take the poll. Tell us whose team is better and why, maybe, and let us know who maybe you would have picked. But if not, Dave, until next time, we'll have you on again. John, until next time. Yeah,
see you Monday.
Looking forward to it.
See you guys Monday.
Forward to it, guys. See ya.